What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to today's late night agenda. As always, I'm your host Craig. Apologies, I am 3 minutes late, but the Anfield Agenda podcast ran a little bit over time, so I had to finish up that and get straight over here. So please do keep an eye out for that dropping on iTunes, Acast and Spotify tomorrow. Myself, Jack Gill and Steve Bland, and it was really fun this week. Actually, it was great to be able to record after a win. But how are we all, ladies and gentlemen? I hope that the sun is shining, because the weather's quite good over here in Ireland today, and I'm liking it. It's nice for a change to get some good weather. We have a load of stuff to get through as always, folks. We want to talk about the transfers coming up. I want to ask you guys, does Matip have a future at the club? I want to get your take, of course, on Ozan Kabak and his very good performance yesterday. Little chat around Sadio Mane, but I want to start off the stream by saying how grateful and how thankful and how good it is to hear that Rui Patricio is recovering well, that he was alert after the game and talking to the Wolves staff. That was brilliant to hear, because I know we were all very concerned, and rightly so, about that incident yesterday. So great to hear that Rui Patricio is okay, and it's always good when you get an outcome like that, because it was nerve-wracking moments, and we were all very concerned about it. So great to see that Rui Patricio is going to be okay, which is the most important thing, because you want anyone who goes on to any sport, whether it be, it doesn't matter, whatever sport, you want these athletes to go home to their families afterwards, be they male, be they female, and get home to their families and enjoy themselves and get back and hug their kids and have fun. Right, ladies and gents, what do you want to get through tonight? How are we all doing? The African World Cup qualifiers cancelled, said Noah. Thank you for that input, buddy. Hey mate, hope you've had a good day, my man. Michael, it has been so busy, dude, honestly. I've been on the go since like 3. I've been on this computer, and when I finish up this, I'm going to be covering for Jack, because he's really busy with uni work, and I'm going to be covering the Real Madrid Atalanta game on Mundo Sporto, so I hope to get you guys over there for that one as soon as I'm finished this as well, and we'll enjoy watching that game together. Weird, isn't it, by the way, that the Reds haven't got a game now for almost 3 weeks. 3 weeks. It's going to feel forever, but there is Champions League football, there is some FA Cup action, so make sure you do subscribe to Mundo Sporto, because we'll be covering all of that over there as well. Right, Sadio, who's supposedly having a bad season, got his 18th goal involvement last night. You see, I'm old school, mate. Goal involvement to me, put the ball in the net. Assists to me, yeah, they're important, but look, I love Sadio, by the way, but yesterday I can't hide behind the fact that I got really frustrated that 3 games in a row he could have won us a penalty, and fairly won us a penalty, but tried to do the honest thing. And I know that's hypocritical, and I know that sounds weird, but we got away yesterday because we got the win. We got a 1-0 win. Jota scored, but and again, I want to be clear and say that Wolves should have had at least one penalty yesterday as well. I'll be the first one to admit that. But the result against Fulham, we had got our penalty that Mane should and could have had then. That would have gotten us a point, perhaps. So, maybe I'm being a bit moany here, but, I think that was one of the poorest performances I've seen from Sadio in a while, and he has set tremendously high standards. So, there's this narrative going around that makes me laugh to even hear it, that people believe that he won't go to ground because he doesn't want Mohamed Salah to take the penalty. I mean, that is just nonsense of the highest order. And I as I've said to you before, I don't want to be buying into, or you guys to be buying into, this pretend gripe between the two of them. They're both competitors, they're both at the top of their game, they're both forwards that want to score goals, but they're also teammates, and they're well aware of that. At least he doesn't cheat. If you're fouled and you go to ground, mate, how is it cheating? I mean, I can give you 50 examples of cheating from other players if you want, but that's not what this point is about. The point is that he had the opportunity, was fouled, and didn't score from any of those 3 opportunities that he tried to stay on his feet from. So call me cynical, but we're in a fight for a top 4 right now, and I want to see these players. I want to see a bit of shithousery if needs be. I mean, I'll call it as it is. Let's be honest about it. Mane gets marked by 2 players each game. Again, that's got nothing to do with my point. My point was only around the penalty incidents. I love Sadio. I've said it before. He's one of the players that, from a standing start, can just get a yard of pace from nowhere, go by his man, can do things that a lot of players don't even think of, brings the ball down out of the air magnificently, has a great leap on him. There's so many beautiful things. Yesterday, to me, just happened to be one of his poorer games, and that's alright. Everybody has poor games from time to time. I'm not going in on Sadio. I love the lad. Jake said Trent was brilliant. To me, I thought yesterday, Kabak, Fabinho, Phillips had a good game as well. I mean, look, we won. That's the most important thing. And I like the way Klopp said it was a dirty 3 points. Like, yeah, but it was 3 points, and that's what we needed. And yeah, that's the most important thing. I hope Liverpool gets relegated. You are some clown, my man, aren't you? Imagine hoping Liverpool get. You can hope, mate, till the cows come home, but it ain't gonna happen. So you can hope for it to happen, but it won't be. You won't be hoping from our chat, my man, because you are a strange little dude. Imagine hoping Liverpool get relegated, mate. What are you, 5? Anyway, let's move on. What do you guys want to talk about? Will there be any football or rugby on Mundo Sporto? Probably not. So let's have a talk around the summer. Let's have a talk about the potential clear outs, because I'll give you my list and then you fire right back at me. For me, Matip, I would sell him. I would sell him. And I suppose the question I want to ask around the Matip thing is, if he's to be sold, and there are some articles putting out there today that he is on a list of players that Liverpool are potentially looking to sell, what would you do with Phillips? Would you keep Phillips as a fourth choice centre back? Because I thought his contract was up, then I heard it 1 year, now I'm hearing he has 2 years on it. So what would you do with Phillips? Because for me, one thing Phillips has, maybe he doesn't have the ability that Joel Matip has, maybe he hasn't got the elegance that Joel Matip has, but he certainly has the body that will live up to the rigours of Premier League football. He's just about to turn 24 years of age. Himself and Kabak have now kept 3 clean sheets in a row together. And look, Big Verge and Gomez are obviously going to come back in, and they're going to be the pair moving forward. Nobody doubts that. What happens with Kabak, that depends on how he performs for the rest of the season. We know that 18 million fee is there if Liverpool want to trigger it. But I suppose the real question is really around the fourth choice centre-back. Is it fair to keep Nat Phillips as a fourth choice? Would it be more fair to the lad to allow him go and join another Premier League club or a club in another league? Because he is getting better as things go on. So I want to start off with that one. What would you guys do around the Matip versus Phillips situation? Because in my head, that's the fight for that fourth spot. Phillips needs to stay, said 9EG. Keep him, said Jody. What else have we got? Keep Nat, said Suxi or Suxi. I never know how to pronounce that one. I always get it wrong. Keep Phillips being brilliant. I don't know about Kabak, but I want Phillips, said Vano. Keep Phillips as fourth choice, and VVD next to VVD be fine. Offence mate said he's a walking injury, and I know it's not his fault, but he gets injured every 3 games. I gather that's around Joel Matip. And look, unfortunately, it's true. We all agree Joel Matip's quality defender. I don't think any of us have many arguments around that one. He can carry the ball forward well, obviously good aerially. He's a quality centre-back, but you need ruggedness in the Premier League. With the amount of games that clubs in European competition or that go deep into the domestic cup competitions play, you know, there's the fixture list is really, really stressful. So yeah, that's where I guess where I'm going at on this one. I don't think Matip will be able to live up to it. I just don't think his body will be able to cope anymore. What have we got? Bad said Matip, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Shaqiri, Origi, Grujic, Minamino and Adrian. The only one I would... Actually, there's probably 2 on your list I'm not 100% on. And I keep flip-flopping on Oxlade-Chamberlain because that little spell yesterday showed me what he can do and can bring. He came on and was full of energy. His pressing was magnificent when we needed it towards the end of that Wolves game. Minamino thing is a real strange one. Like, I genuinely don't know where to go on this one. I don't know if there is a way back, if the move to Southampton was to maybe try and get him a deal there or elsewhere in the longer term. I'm as confused as anyone on that one. But just on the Matip Phillips thing alone, and you guys watching this back later on, I'd love to know your take on it as well. Matip's injury prone, he has to go, said Bailey. Keep Phillips, he's proven himself, said St. Troy. Loan Phillips to RB Leipzig. Why would we do that? Excuse me, I'm genuine. We did have him loaned at Stuttgart for a season and a half, I think, but I don't see why we'd loan him when he's going to have more Premier League experience now by the time the season's out. Matip and Adrian out, said Bailey Coates. I don't think you'll find a single person that disagrees on the Adrian thing, mate. I think, you know, we do need to be either promoting Kelleher or bringing in another backup keeper. Grujic is a good player, played well against Juve. He is, but it doesn't seem, unfortunately, Wesley, like he has a future at the club. You're right, he's done well at Porto. He did okay at Hertha before that. He was technically Klopp's first signing when he came into the club, but he's never gotten the chance at Liverpool. He's never been given the opportunity to establish himself. And I don't think that he will, if I'm being brutally honest. Dara Azizi reckons that Jimmy Milner has to go as well. Wilson will be gone, I'd say. Lizzie, yeah, I'd say that's a good show. George has gone for Oxlade-Chamberlain, Matip, Origi, Shaqiri, Wilson, Grujic, and maybe Bobby. Now that's an interesting show. On the podcast, we actually finished up by talking about the Roberto Firmino situation and you know, where does he come back into the team right now? And look, of course, there's going to be rotation, and rightly so. And yes, there may be times where Klopp goes with the four. But if we're looking to the summer, from what I've read today and from what Connor's told me, the club are going to do everything within their power to try and keep Mohamed Salah. So I wonder, is Bobby sometimes guilty of what I like to call the Jimmy Milner syndrome, of being able to play in so many positions that he can't really nail down that one position. And as we all know, he's probably best as an attacking midfielder. And let's see if he will get the opportunity to play there, maybe with Jota, Salah, Mane ahead of him for the remainder of the season when he comes back. I'm certainly going to be intrigued by it, because it's no secret, that he's my favourite player at the club. What are your thoughts on Neuhaus? It's tough to say, because I've seen glimpses, and I mean just glimpses, mate, and only since we've been linked with him. But Mönchengladbach's form has been a little bit up and down lately. I honestly don't know, but I will trust the club to make that decision. Grujic has barely played for Porto. I think he's played a bit. I know he was on the bench the other day, but I think he's played a bit, to be fair. Again, though, maybe you've seen a lot more. I won't sit here, mate, and say to you that I've watched every Porto game this season. That would be an absolute lie. Problem is, if they clear out too many, there's no way they can replace that many. But do we need to, I suppose, Patrick, is the real question. Because if you look at it, we know Origi's not good enough. We know Shaqiri's not good enough. And I know people will disagree with me on Shaqiri and Origi. But the question is, if we were to lose one of our four front players at the minute, are they of a calibre to step in and do the job? And I think if we're being honest with ourselves, outside of Mane, Salah, Firmino, Jota, the answer is no, they aren't. Now, we might have Harvey Elliott coming back. There's a conversation to be had around whether he'll go out on loan or whether he'll come back into the first team fold next season. But if we're being honest with ourselves, they're not good enough. And Manchester City have done so well this season, in such a congested season, because they've been able to rotate quality for quality, and they've been able to stay fresh. And obviously they're a good team with a good manager and that as well. And that's the level that we need to aspire to. So, you know, we've got a very, very good 13 or 14. But if we can make that a good 16, 17, I think that could be all the difference. As a Newcastle fan, any strikers you don't want, we'll take. Enjoy the content. Thank you, man. How bad is Patricio's injury? Is he out for the season? No idea how long he'll be out for. Don't even want to guess. But he was awake, and he was talking with the medical staff in the dressing room. That much I'm able to tell you, which is great news. Vanos, compare our substitutes to Chelsea, for example. We need good people as subs because we have a good first team, but our subs, you've gone as far as to say, are thrash. I wouldn't quite be that harsh, but again, there is a massive drop off, and I think that's fair. Think Mbappe wants to finish his contract at PSG. Haaland is anyone's guess. There's not a hope in hell that Paris Saint-Germain are going to allow Kylian Mbappe to walk away for free. Not a chance in hell that they'll let that happen, Suxi. You're talking about somebody whose market value with a decent length of contract is probably a quarter of €1 billion, maybe even more. Who will probably go for somewhere between 1 and 150 in euro this summer. There's no way they'll allow him to leave on a free. You know, they'll either try, if they don't get him convinced to sign on to a new deal, they will look for buyers in the summer. You know, there's also talk, maybe you've seen the Zinedine Zidane stuff, there's talk that maybe Ronaldo could be heading back to Real Madrid as well, which would be a massive shock. Haaland, I agree, that is anyone's guess. My particular guess would be Manchester City. Looks like the club has prioritised Haaland over Mbappe. How so, mate? I'm asking genuinely, not to be a smart arse. I'm asking because I haven't seen it. So I'm genuinely just trying to figure it out for him, how they've prioritised Haaland. I don't know. Again, I'm happy to be wrong on this because they're both quality, and I'm not going to complain if either of those dudes ends up at our club. What have we got? There must be an issue with Minamino that he's shown in training. I have a feeling that he will go. Again, yeah, I suppose, you know, obviously what Klopp's seen, he wasn't happy with because he didn't get the minutes. Again, though, at the price we paid for him, 7.25 million, we'll easily recoup that and more, I'd say, for Takumi if he does move on. Thoughts of LeBron joining FSG? I've no idea what that means, mate. I know LeBron has always had an image rights deal or something where he has a deal with FSG's holdings. I think, and he owns a small percentage of Liverpool Football Club as well, but I don't know if I've missed something and he's increased that stake or something, mate. I've no idea. Unpopular opinion, Jota should be considered a first choice player. I don't think that's unpopular at all, Michael. I think every single person in this chat would agree with you on that, Michael. Michael, I think that's a popular opinion, I'd say, buddy. Shaqiri needs to stay. Why? So he can be injured 50 times a season again with leg injuries, and so he can come on and do sweet fuck all for us. Like, what has Shaqiri done? Answer me. Honestly, genuinely. You'll tell me he was involved in the Barcelona game and you'll talk about the Manchester United moment. Other than that, what has he done? He's done nothing. He's come on and he's flattered to deceive and he's tried the same cross numerous times. And he's always got calf injuries. And we need robust players. So it was worth the gamble. And I know there are Shaqiri fans out there, but I genuinely struggle to know why there are Shaqiri fans out there because I don't get it. And I've been honest about that from day one. I thought the gamble at the price we got him for with the relegation clause from Stoke was worth rolling the dice. But I am fed up of hearing him picking up muscle strains that rules him out for stuff. And I just don't see that he brings enough. And I don't think he's anywhere near good enough to come in as either an attacking midfielder or a wide player to cover for the players that we have. The drop off is just way too much for me. But then again, that is just my opinion. And of course, everybody is entitled to their own. Do you think Mane really needs to step up if he wants to be reliable again? Look, all players will go through dips in form. And look, we all love Sadio, we all love Mo, we all love Bobby, we all love Diogo. They'll all have dips in form. Mane isn't going through his best form at the minute, but that's okay. I mean, he's out there trying. And I was frustrated with him yesterday, I won't lie. It was one of his poorer performances I felt, but I still think he's absolute quality. FSG signing a deal for 750 million puts funds into Liverpool. No, that's not correct. FSG are selling off 10% of their entire holdings to Red Bird Acquisition Corp run by Jerry Cardinal. You are right about the $750 million that they are going to receive for that 10%. That deal probably closed in the next 4 to 5 weeks. But what they do with that 750 million is entirely up to FSG. That is a dividend that they can take and spend themselves. They can invest it in the Red Sox. They can invest it in Liverpool Football Club. They could do what they like with it. I mean, I wouldn't say for certain that money's coming to Liverpool. We all hope some of it does. I mean, yeah, it'd be lovely for them to drop some of that money in to help Klopp refresh the squad. But I've yet to see anything to suggest that it's nailed on that some of that money or a chunk of that money will be coming our way. I mean, they could recoup basically the cost that they paid for Liverpool and a lot of other stuff and still own 90%. How mad would that be? Like, Craig, he's injured a lot, but I think he's good for what he does, which isn't much. Exactly. So that's why I'm confused about Shaqiri. Like, he doesn't offer enough for me to justify taking a first team squad, especially an overseas first team squad. Place, I should say, excuse me. Craig, how much would we get for Divock? Adrian probably leave on a free, I would imagine. Divock, I think 20 mil is probably the number on Divock. Chamberlain, I wouldn't have a clue. I'd say he may be hard to move on because of his injury record. And look, if he can keep fit, Chamberlain's worth keeping around, definitely. Wilson, no idea. And Shaqiri, I'd imagine you probably get around 15, I'd guess. It's tough to know in COVID times, though, isn't it? Because, we are in a world where football finances are all over the place. They'll put it in the NFL team because they're crap. The NFL team that they don't own, Bailey. The makey-uppy NFL team because they own a baseball team. They definitely don't own an NFL team that I'm aware of. Now, I know Jerry Cardinal is involved with The Rock in relaunch of the XFL, if you remember that. I think they're going to have a spring XFL league that they're launching, but yeah, it's a baseball team. It's definitely not an NFL team, mate. It's an MLB team. For summer, hoping for a centre back and a striker, cover at right back if Genie stays. Yeah, that works. I mean, I hope for a centre back as well, a striker, and I think you've made got those positions spot on. Actually, I heard when Yalden was going to Barcelona. The truth is nobody knows. So you're right. There's been loads of talk about Gini Wijnaldum going to Barcelona, mate. There's been also talk of a handshake agreement with Inter Milan at the end of the season to go there. And he could have signed for somebody for all we know. He wouldn't even have to inform Liverpool, because once you enter into the final 6 months of your contract, you can sign a pre-contract agreement with anybody outside the country of the league you're playing in, and you don't even have to inform the owners of your club, because it's part of your last 6 months. You can just go and sign and do what you want. But I hope he stays. I really do hope Gini stays. Personally, would be good to see Salah go, as would I. Patrick, thank you for the super chat. Man said, would quality depth, 3 to 4 good options, be better overall than one superstar signing? I love the idea of Mbappe, but City's depth is so sexy. Yeah, you know what, man? I would agree with you, Patrick. I think what we need is the depth. We do need to have that bit of, like for like changes. So I kind of agree with you. I know it's sexy to say Mbappe and Haaland, and hopefully we can be greedy and get a little bit of both, but I do appreciate where you're coming from, Patrick, and my answer would be give us 3 or 4 like for like good options, like a Neto or a Rafinha or your man from Inter Milan, Nicolas Barea, or people along those type of lines. So yeah. No, Gini isn't going to Barca. That's been ruled out, said Selection. Again, I think Gini did say something about no to the Barca thing. I'm sure I've read that somewhere. But again, don't take anything I say as absolutely nailed on. I'm just working off memory half the time, folks. What about Dybala? I take him, but I don't know if he'll, if Ronaldo does leave Juventus this year to go back to Real Madrid, then surely they're going to want to push Dybala back as somebody that they're going to want to push on. I mean, he's a quality player. I do like Dybala. Harvey Barnes, the problem I'd see there, Irish Gar, is that, Leicester would want the sun, moon and stars for Harvey Barnes, because he's Premier League proven, he's English, and Leicester don't let their players go cheap. They're very good at getting top price for the players that they do move on. So, he's certainly a very good footballer, though. And again, there's Ismail Ishar, who we've been linked with before as well. And, there are other names. Lucas Ocampos, who I'm still baffled by that link, by the way. Then you've got your centre-back options, your Jules Koundés, your... who was the other guy we've been linked with? The guy from Betis, whose contract is up at the... Mondi, whose contract is up at the end of the season, potentially on a free. We have the Kabak situation still as well. There's Calais Dakar, the Marseille defender. So, there's loads of options out there. And then Daka as well. Yeah, that's a good shout from BM. Patson Daka is, obviously at Salzburg right now, and somebody who could probably be gotten reasonably cheap as well, and knows where the goal is. And I imagine under Klopp's guidance, he would push on leaps and bounds. I was reading Kate, who was about somebody else there. For those of you that aren't aware or weren't joining us yesterday, the good news is, and I hope it's good news, is that I'm not going anywhere. I am going to be staying at Anfield Agenda. I'm going to be carrying on, even if it's, still for no wage or whatever. My wife said, Craig, you'll get there. I believe you'll get there. Carry on. Keep doing what you're doing, and someday we'll reap the rewards of the hard work. So again, massive shout out to my missus for being the legend that she is. So yes, I'm going nowhere, staying here, and I'm very happy. It feels like a huge weight's being lifted off my shoulders. Did I see LeBron James as a new partner at FSG? Somebody had mentioned it earlier on, and I did say I hadn't seen the news, but obviously it is true. Again, I've had such a busy day. I've been going from meeting to meeting, then to signing papers. Actually, that doesn't matter. Then we've gone to speak to potential sponsors, and just we've really been having a busy day. And I'll be jumping on in a few minutes to do the Real Madrid Atalanta game over in Mundo Sporto as well. So it's just been 100 miles an hour today for me. But that is great news if LeBron James is a new partner at FSG, because the man has a lot of clout in the world, and you know he's good friends with Mbappe as well. So maybe that dream's on. Craig, would I bring Phil back to Anfield? No, I'm a bit petty, K-Dot, when it comes to that, mate. And again, I think he made his bed. And I loved Felipe Coutinho when he was here. I was really, really angry and disappointed when he went. And the fact we didn't replace him at the time as well, which actually turned out to be a good call because Chamberlain stepped up and had an amazing season right through till he picked up that injury against Roma. But no, I wouldn't bring him back. Good man, love the channel, said Kieran. Thank you, mate. You've no idea the relief I feel right now, honestly. I feel like I'm a forward or something that's playing with freedom now, that I've been told I don't have to track back. I can just express myself. The weight of being lifted off my shoulders to be able to just know that I'm not running against the clock. I'm not having to wait, 9 weeks to see if I can save myself in the channel. And we're here. We're pushing for 100k. We need your support to get there. That is still a goal I want to try and get to by the end of the season. So if you haven't subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button. Let the world know about us. Share our stuff on TikTok. We're on Instagram, of course. Again, we're, of course, on Twitter as well, at Anfield Agenda. And if you want to give me a personal follow, I do, how do I describe this? I do have to manually approve every follower on Twitter because I get a lot of shit. So I do look into everyone's account. But there's my personal Twitter handle if anybody wants to give me a follow on there. What have you got? I don't know why, but I could see you making a book. I'm going to write a book, Michael, but when I say I'm going to write a book, it's not writing a book that I want ever published or anything. It's I'm writing a book about my life as, well, I haven't started it yet, but I will do, as a therapeutic project just for myself. No intention of doing anything with it because the stuff I've touched on here with you guys about, my mother committing suicide, my father drinking himself to death, being screwed out of my inheritance, a lot of other stuff that, I haven't even touched on because it's very private stuff. There's a lot of stuff, that I want to get out of my system that I've obviously worked through with therapists, but I want to write it down so I can just release it, if that makes any sense. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I've had a hard out fucking life, folks, up to this point. But you know what? I'm gonna keep swinging for the fences because if I haven't been beaten by now, if I haven't given up by now, I ain't gonna ever give up. So yeah, I think it's something that somebody advised me to do once, just for a therapeutic reason. So I think I definitely will. My solicitor actually told me at one point when I went to have a look at my mum's will, he told me that if you were to write a book about your life story, if you were to tell people about your life story, they think it was fiction. And to hear that from a solicitor, I was like, oh shit, maybe I've gone through some shit. Love the channel, thank you, Dennis, appreciate that, my man. You picked yourself up, Craig, though. And look, man, I haven't just done that on my own. You guys have done that for me. My wife has done that for me. My kids have done that for me. My in-laws have done that for me. I've been saved by being lucky of having a good group of people around me who have loved, supported and held me up when I've needed it. And that means a lot. And one of the reasons I spoke about having the relief off my shoulders is because I couldn't imagine my life without coming on here to talk with you guys, to share stuff, to have a laugh, to get angry, to tell shitty jokes, to sing shitty songs. It brings me joy on a personal level that I can't describe. And my wife will often say to me when I come off a stream, it's like I've taken a drug or something. Like I'm on an adrenaline high and I'm happy and I'm bouncing around the house, and you guys give me that. It's you guys that give that to me. So I've always said to you guys, there's never any need to thank us, because you give back to us as much as we could possibly ever give out to you, and that's why I love this community so much and why I'm so happy that I've got such a legend of a missus. So again, but I'm not gonna lie, I do want this to get to a point where I can make it a job. I want to be able to come off the disability allowance I'm on, and I want to do everything by the book. I've always been transparent, and I want to get to a point where I can get full time. But most importantly, I want the 100k subs for Connor, because I want him to get that award, and I want him to be able to give it to his dad and say, look what I did. I was in college when we started this. Look, we've now hit 100,000 subscribers. So I'm going to keep grinding as always, folks. Do I collect football kits other than Liverpool's? Yeah. I've got loads. I'm a chav at heart, man. I've so many different kits. Loads of MLS kits, Columbia's jerseys, retro shirts. I love football kits, mate. I absolutely love them. I don't own many t-shirts because most of the stuff I own are football jerseys. So yeah, defo. Uh, Ken Dodd said he went on stage to have a rest. Yeah, it's weird. Um, yeah, it is weird because like this is almost like the one point of the day where I'm not overthinking stuff. I'm just in the moment and I'm just having a laugh. Your honesty is refreshing, Craig. Keep up the great work. Look, I've promised you two things since day one. I'll try my hardest and I'll be honest. And that's all I've ever promised anybody. And I think I've tried to live up to both of those things. You'll get to 100k in no time. Thank you, Huey. But again, I don't feel we've any God-given right to get to 100k. I don't see it that way. You got to earn it. But it is a beautiful milestone to be aiming for, and I hope we get there. I do. I really do. Right, what else we got? Salah is the GOAT. Salah, I love Mo. I'd love to see him play through the centre next season, mate. Riona said, I'm a Manchester City fan, but I love your channel. Thank you very much. That means a lot. We get a load of people from opposition channels that come in and, or opposition fans, excuse me, that come in and just say a kind word. And do you know what? It really means a lot. It does. Because, we all have our own clubs, of course, but we love football more than anything, don't we? Like, we love the sport. The sport brings us together, gives us these amazing moments and unites people, even if we do have different clubs. So thank you. What's the best moment you've had on the channel? It's 100% the Barcelona comeback, mate. 100%. Followed by the celebration of the Divock Origi late winner in the derby when Pickford made a mess of it. That got demonetized straight away because I cursed so many times in such a quick amount of time. But it has to be the Barcelona, mate. That's the best moment I've had. The lowest moment I had was when I had the thank you and goodbye video where I was crying and broke down. That was a low, but a low that I think I needed to experience, if you get me. But that has to be the Barcelona game, man. 100%. Jamie said if there's one person who deserves 100k, it's me. It's me and Connor. That's the thing. I always want to make the point that there's two people in Anfield. Well, there's obviously a team now with Jack and a few more involved, but it's me and Connor that went into this together from day one. And there wouldn't be a channel without Connor's technical know-how and then his graphical work and his design work and his dedication. I mean, Connor gets no glory. I get all the glory. I also get all the abuse, to be fair. But look, without Connor Crosby, none of this would exist. I love, Craig, when you deal with the trolls. It's funny. You see, I actually asked yesterday on a stream, should I stop that? Because some people don't like when I have a go back at a troll on the stream. And they think that it maybe demeans or takes away from the channel. And I'm always somebody open to feedback. But I have to admit that I do like it. Like, on a personal level, I do like being able to have a little dig back at times. Like, it's my nature. I'm a fairly confrontational person in real life. So I know a lot of people don't like it, and I appreciate that. But with being an Aspie, I'm wired a bit differently, so I interpret some things wrongly at times, and some things I go automatically into fight or flight mode. And Kate, I know you know exactly what I'm talking about on that one. We've spoken about this in the Discord group. Oh, by the way, little plug, if you do want to join the Discord group, become a member of Anfield Agenda FC. There is a link in the description. I understand that a lot of people, particularly on Apple phones, don't get to see the blue join button. So I often say hit the join button, but people don't see it. There is a link in the description if you want to become a member of Anfield Agenda FC. It is $4.99 a month. You do get use of all the custom emojis and all the loyalty badges, which somebody actually had a go at me over yesterday and said, loyalty badges, are we like 5? It's just part of what you offer in the membership. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to. All the content is free, but you do get those loyalty badges that change colour the longer you're with us. You get the emojis. You get into our Discord group, which is for members only. And you also get a few other bits and pieces as well. It is $4.99 a month. If you want to join, have a look in the description. If you don't, hey, all cool. You're still going to get all the content anyway. Are you close to 83.7? I don't think so. But let me have a little look-see poo. No, we haven't picked up one subscriber on this stream, to be honest. We're 32 away from hitting the next 100. So hopefully by tomorrow we'll have hit it. No, don't sack the trolls on the stream. Just don't go on Twitter. Different level of troll. Yeah, absolutely. Like, that's why I've gone private on Twitter. That's why when I gave out my Twitter account earlier on, I manually check every single account that requests to follow me on Twitter, because I don't want to have negativity on there. I want to enjoy my time on there. Craig was a football hooligan in his younger years. No, I definitely wasn't, mate. Not at all. When I say I'm confrontational, I mean, like, I'm very defensive. That's probably the way I should have gone about saying that. Get Newlaw now. Alright, why not? I'm going to leg it now in a minute, because I've got to go over and do the watch along of the Real Madrid Atalanta game. But yeah, let's get a bit of Newlaw now for everyone, just because we're all in a good mood and the sun's shining. There he is. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Go on, Newlaw. Yes, look at him go. There he is. My man, Newlaw, doing bits as always. You gotta love a little dancing alien. Right, what else have we got? I'm a Barca fan and I'm sub. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. I'm also a Barca fan, by the way. Everybody knows I love Liverpool with all my heart, but you drop the next level down and Barca's the only other club of the earth I give a shit about, to be honest with you. So then it doesn't come anywhere close to Liverpool, but you know, I've made it be known and it's obvious. I love La Liga, and I do. You know, Barcelona have been... my dad bought me my first ever football shirt in Spain when I was 6, and it was a Barca shirt. I grew up looking at it as a goalkeeper, looking at Antonio Zubizarreta and the likes as well. So I'll always have a soft spot for Barcelona. Craig, can I add you on Twitter? Adam Cusack. I'll check, just if I remember the name, mate, because you know, sometimes I see people who have like no followers or just create a new account, and I'm suspicious of those, because you're thinking, I don't know. Do I play GAA? No, I did play it all the way through secondary school, buddy. And it was good. If I, you know, as a goalkeeper, obviously I had good handling skills, but I did play in midfield and I did captain my secondary school. Rafinha, realistic choice for Liverpool? Yes, he is absolutely realistic. Yes, Craig, vice versa, said Cave as well. Craig, do I have a Facebook? Anfield Agenda has a Facebook group. Yes, we have a Facebook group. We've got an Instagram, obviously. We have TikTok, which we're going to be putting out a lot more stuff on, by the way. So go over and give Anfield Agenda a follow on TikTok. Just search Anfield Agenda and you'll find their account. Love your channel, mate. Thank you. I love doing it as well. It always makes me smile. I'm an aspiring young centre-back trying to be the new Virgil van Dijk. Keep trying, man. Keep plugging away. You never know where it'll take you, Michael. Keep believing in yourself. What is GAA? It's the Gaelic Athletic Association. Basically Gaelic football, George. So yeah, Irish football, basically, where we can use our hands and solo and bounce the ball. And do I follow the League of Ireland at all? No, but I'm going to buy the season pass, mate. The €59 season pass, I think, is exceptional value. And I love the bow shirt, by the way, that they did with the Fontaines. That money is going to charity as well. This is a great shirt, a great cause, and well done to Bows on that one. Right, look, ladies and gents, I'm going to have to leg it because I've got to get over now and do the watch-along over in Mundo Sporto. So if you want to come over and join me there, I'll be doing a watch-along of Real Madrid's game against Atalanta. If not, I will see you legends on here tomorrow. As always, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so. Take care of yourself.